Hey there, bowling fans. Welcome back to Bowling with Buddy. Appreciate you guys stopping by the channel, checking things out, see what we got going on today. I'm here today, Bolero Tamarack, and I'm introducing to you, it's not even introducing, you guys have seen a lot of it, there's a lot of videos out there, the new Belmo ball, the Journey. I shot a video with that with Charles Hutcherson and Scott Anderson, and I'll send a link to that in my description down below. We had a lot of fun shooting that video. We were both trying to throw who could throw 4 or 5 strikes, whatever. But since then, I've had a few chances to throw it in league. I've thrown it in some tournaments. I've knocked the surface off on it, and I find a little better roll from it. I'm going to compare it today to the Phase 2, so I'm going to probably throw about 5 or 6 shots with the Journey, and then I'm going to throw the Phase 2. They're drilled pretty much the same. I'll put the drillings in the video description, and one of the things I just kind of give you a comparison, because to me what matters is the cover stock. These 2 cover stocks are the same, and I want you guys to get an idea of how they compare and how they roll up against each other. So with that said, let me just get started. I'm just going to kind of throw the ball on a modified house pattern here, and let's see what we can do. I'm going to stand 23, 24 with my feet, and I'm looking at about 12 at the arrows with my eyes. Not bad, not bad. I'm going to just go through a few more and stop talking and start bowling. Okay, so that's about 4 or 5 shots with the new Belmo Journey ball. And let me just kind of stop right there and say, the reason I knocked the cover off of this ball and I hit it 500 and 1,000 and I just left it at that, it lane shines pretty darn quick. As you can see, I've thrown a game with it or so, 2 games with it, it lane shines almost as if it's like right out of box. My drilling is 5 by 4 by 2 on this particular ball. And when it was out of box, it was just, for me, too much of a mixed reaction ball, where if I threw it to the right, it kind of either skidded or overreacted based on the dry condition it hit. I didn't have a consistent roll on it, and it really was just kind of reading through the fronts way too quick for me. So I knocked the surface down, and I actually kind of find the ball to roll better for me. But again, I don't have a lot of speed. I don't have a lot of revs, so I'm just kind of a tweener, rolling it, just kind of doing what I can to get the ball down lane. So with that said, I'm going to switch over to the same cover stock type ball, and I'm going to throw the Phase 2. So I'm going to take my Jopo grip out here, and I'm going to switch to my Phase 2, which is pretty much drilled the same thing. And it's got some lane shine on it. It's not out of the box, and it's my only ball that I use strictly for tournaments. So let's see what we can do, and I'm going to throw the ball in the same area. All right, now that I have some pins, I'm going to throw this ball, the Phase 2, in the same spot I was throwing the Journey. Nice and smooth ball. For me, Phase 2 is probably one of my best tournament balls I've ever had in my hand. It's my most reliable benchmark ball I've ever thrown. I think the other ball that comes close for me in a benchmark ball is the Summit and the Exponent from 900 Global. So, but as you saw, this Phase 2, a little smoother, a little bit longer than the Journey in that aspect. Maybe because I hit the surface on the Journey, but let's keep throwing it. About 28, 29 with my feet. I'm looking at about 12, 13 at the arrows. Oh, I leaked it right. So as you saw, when I pushed the ball right with the Journey, it actually recovered a little stronger than what that Phase 2 is. So I'm going to square up a little bit with the Phase 2, move right a little bit with my feet, and see if I can stay on top of that and see if I can get the ball to go through the pins a little better. Okay, I moved about 3 right with my feet. I'm gonna look at about 11, 12 at the arrows. Not a fair assessment on the bowling ball. Kind of flattened it out, just kind of didn't do anything with it. So that's on me, not the ball. So I'm gonna try it again, but this time, let me see if I can actually put something in the ball with my hand to make it work. All right, I'm gonna move right a little bit with this phase 2. It's got quite a bit of lane shine on it right now, so it's going a lot longer than I expected. So right off the bat, like I said, the phase 2 for me is going much longer and still just as responsive down lane with this cover stock. But as you can see, these balls lane shine very, very quickly. And with that lane shine, it just gets them to go a little further down the lane more than you want. So I highly recommend, get off camera here for a second. After every shot, what you want to do is get yourself ball removal, oil removal chamois or something, and get that oil off the ball, and create yourself a consistent shot from frame to frame. Because if you leave that oil on there, you're going to have an inconsistency on the ball's roll. Okay, I'm going to move right a little bit, and I'm looking about 9 with my eyes at the arrows. So I moved right a little bit and got on top of the pattern, more, where the track is, because with this ball, the phase 2, I have to. It's got to go a little longer. It's going, much further down lane than what I was having with the Belmo's Journey. So that's kind of a telltale in some aspects. If I were to put surface on my phase 2, probably react a lot differently. Probably react a little smoother and a little stronger. But again, as I see, these things get lane shine pretty quick. All right, one more shot here with the phase 2. All right, let's slow that up a little bit just so I can get a little more shape. But again, you see how further right I am with that ball and how much straighter it goes. So I'm going to jump back into the Journey, throw a couple more shots, just to kind of wrap this up and kind of give you an idea of how they compare to each other from a same cover stock perspective. All right, I'm back in the Journey, and I'm gonna go back and throw the ball in the same spot I was at with the phase 2, so you guys can have a really good comparison as to how this ball will react differently than what the phase 2 did. So I'm gonna stand about 22 with my feet, and I'm gonna look at about 9 at the arrows and see how well this ball responds from there. Much earlier. Much earlier. I saw that ball set up really, really quick, really early. So I'm going to move off of that and give you one more solid shot with this Journey and see how it compares. Okay, I'm going to move about 3 or 4 left, and I'm going to look at, again, 12 with my eyes at the arrows and get this ball down lane. Whoo! Okay, don't be slow, don't be soft, because that ball will respond. So I kind of slowed up everything for the phase 2 so it could shape up, because it was going much longer and much more direct with where I'm at this Journey. Man, it once it sees the friction, it starts to go. So I got a little too soft. I'm going to try it again, but a little more firm with it. All right, I moved 2 left with my feet also. I'm going to stay on this ball and get it going. Much better, much better. I missed right a little bit, but I also threw that ball. I was getting on it, make sure I sent it down the lane. And as you can see, it responds much quicker and much faster than the phase 2. Similar cover stocks, but when you compare the weight blocks that are inside, it makes a difference. While they may be the same covers and they're both lane shine, the weight block that's in this Journey makes a big difference on how well this thing turns much sooner. So I'm gonna throw one more, see if I can throw one more strike, I need pins. All right, now that I got pins, I'm gonna throw this ball about 13, 14 to the right. There you go, folks. That is a great representation of how well that Journey rolls with a little extra surface. Then if you look at it in my video with Scott and Charles, I had to throw the ball much straighter, much more direct, and didn't get as much shape on it. By going 500, 1000 with this thing, I'm able to get a lot more shape with it. And, you know, kind of like what I'm seeing with it. And it's not a replacement for the Phase 2. It really isn't. For me, it's stronger than the Phase 2. I could actually start with this as a benchmark compared to the Phase 2. And then I could migrate to the Phase 2. And the Phase 2 is just kind of going to be that continuous, you know, shape for me that I like to see out of a symmetrical ball. But you know, every situation is different. You never know. Phase 2 is never leaving my bag. But this ball really does give you that earlier read than the Phase 2, and it gives you a stronger reaction on the back end. I can mimic some of that with the Phase 2 with by modifying the surface a little bit, but it's going to go longer, I believe, than this Journey. And so that's really the comparison and why I'm keeping both, and we'll go from there. But in the meantime, talk to your pro shop, see what's best for you, and see what, you know, where the Journey may fit within your arsenal, and help you continue your journey in bowling. So in the meantime, you guys, you know, keep striking. It's getting near to be the holiday season. Hug your family, be with your friends. When you go bowling, keep striking, and when you're not bowling, stay humble and be kind.